and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no shalom. For calamity followeth on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil tidings on evil tidings, and illness on illness, and all evil judgments such as these, one with another, illness and overthrow, and snow and frost and ice and fever and chills and torpor and famine and death and sword and captivity and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these will come on an evil generation which transgresseth on the earth. Their works are uncleanness and fornication and pollution and abominations. Then they will say, the days of our forefathers were many, even unto 1,000 years, and were good. But behold, the days of our life, if a man hath lived many, are 60 years and 10. And if he is strong, 80 years, and those evil, and there is no peace, no shalom in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons will convict their fathers and their elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickednesses which they perpetrate, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahuwah made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commandments, and his ordinances, and all his laws, without departing either to the right hand or to the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaketh iniquity, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. Behold, the earth will be destroyed on account of all their works, and there will be no seed of the vine and no oil, for their works are altogether faithless, and they will all perish together. Beasts and cattle and birds and all fish of the sea on account of the children of men. And they will strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the law and the covenant, for they have forgotten commandment, and covenant, and feasts, and months, and Shabbat, and jubilees, and all judgments. And they will stand and war to turn them back into the way, but they will not return until much blood hath been shed on the earth, one by another. And those who have escaped will not return from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they will all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's. And they will name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness, and they will defile the set apart place, the set apart, with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment will befall the deeds of this generation from Yahuwah, and he will give them over to the sword, and to the judgment, and to the captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of the Gentiles, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who will respect the person of none, neither old nor young, nor any one, for they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they will use violence against Yasharal, and transgression against Jacob, and much blood will be shed upon the earth, and there will be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they will cry aloud and call and pray that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners, the Gentiles. But none will be saved, and the heads of the children will be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks will appear old like a man of 100 years, and their stature will be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. Renewed study of the law followed by a renewal of mankind, Mashiach's kingdom and the Baruchedness of the righteous. Verse 26. And in those days the children will begin to study the laws and to seek the commandments and to return to the path of righteousness. And the days will begin to grow many and increase amongst those children of men, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than before was the number of the days. And there will be no old man, nor one who is not satisfied with his days, for all will be as children and youths, and all their days they will complete and live in shalom and in joy. And there will be no Hashatan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days will be days of barakah and healing. And at that time, Yahuwah will heal his servants, and they will rise up and see great shalom, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous will see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and will see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones will rest in the earth, and their spirits will have much joy. And they will know that it is Yahuwah who executeth judgment, and showeth mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do thou, Masha, write down these words, for thus are they written, and they record them on the heavenly tablets for a testimony for the generations forever. Yada Yahuwah. Chapter 24. Isaac at the well of vision. Esau sells his birthright. Verse 1. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that Yahuwah baruched Isaac his son. And he arose from Hebron and went and dwelt well of the vision in the first year of the 3rd week of this Jubilee, 7 years. And in the first year of the 4th week, a famine began in the land, besides the first famine, which had been in the days of Abraham. And Jacob sowed lentil pottage. And Esau came from the field hungry. And he said to Jacob his brother, Give me of this red pottage. And Jacob said to him, Sell to me thy birthright, and I will give thee bread, and also some of this lentil pottage. And Esau said in his heart, I shall die. Of what profit to me is this birthright? And he said to Jacob, I give it to thee. And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And Jacob gave his brother Esau bread and pottage. And he ate. Esau despised his birthright. For this reason was Esau's name called Edom, on account of the red pottage which Jacob gave him for his birthright. And Jacob became the elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. Isaac's sojourn in Gerar and dealing with Abimelech. Verse 8. And the famine was over the land, and Isaac departed to go down into Egypt in the 2nd year of this week, and went to the king of the Philistines, to Gerar, unto Abimelech. And Yahuwah appeared unto him, and said unto him, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land that I shall tell thee of, and sojourn in this land, and I shall be with thee, and Baruch thee. For to thee and to thy seed shall I give all this land, and I shall establish my oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father, and I shall multiply thy seed as the stars of the Shemaim, and shall give unto thy seed all of this land. And in thy seed will all the nations of the earth be baruched, because thy father obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, and my laws, and my ordinances, and my covenant. And now obey my voice, and dwell in this land. And he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks of years. And Abimelech charged concerning him, and concerning all that was his, saying, Any man that shall touch him, or aught that is his, shall surely die. And Isaac waxed strong among the Philistines, and he got many possessions, oxen and sheep and camels and asses, and a great household. And he sowed in the land of the Philistines, and brought in 100-fold. And Isaac became exceedingly great, and the Philistines envied him. Now all the wells which the servants of Abraham had dug during the life of Abraham, the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence in the 1st year of the 7th week, and sojourned in the valleys of Gerar. And they digged again the wells of water, which the servants of Abraham his father had dug, and which the Philistines had closed after the death of Abraham his father. And he called their names as Abraham his father had named them. And the servants of Isaac dug a well in the valley, and found living water. And the shepherds of Gerar strove with the shepherds of Isaac, saying, The water is ours. And Isaac called the name of the well Perversity, because they had been perverse with us. And they dug a second well, and they strove for that also. And he called its name Enmity. And he arose from thence, and they dug another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Room. And Isaac said, Now Yahuwah hath made room for us, and we have increased in the land. And he from thence to the well of the oath in the first year of the first week in the 44th Jubilee. And Yahuwah appeared to him that night on the new moon of the first month, and said unto him, I am Yahuwah, Eluah of Abraham, thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and shall baruch thee, and shall surely multiply thy seed as the sand of the earth, for the sake of Abraham, my servant. And he built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built, and he called upon the name, and he offered sacrifice to the Elohim of Abraham his father. And they dug a well, and they found living water. And the servants of Isaac dug another well, and did not find water. And they went and told Isaac that they had not found water. And Isaac said, I have sworn this day to the Philistines, and this thing hath been announced to us. And he called the name of that place the well of the oath, for there he had sworn to Abimelech and Ahuzath his friend, and Phil and Phicol the prefect of his host. And Isaac knew that day that under constraint he had sworn to them to make peace with them. Isaac curses the Philistines. Verse 28. And Isaac on that day cursed the Philistines and said, Cursed be the Philistines unto the day of wrath and indignation from the midst of all nations. May Yahuwah make them a derision and a curse and an object of wrath and indignation in the hands of the sinners, the Gentiles, and in the hands of the Kittim. And whoever escapeth the sword of the enemy and the Kittim, may the righteous nation root out in judgment from under the Shemayim, for they will be enemies and foes of my children throughout their generations upon the earth. And no remnant will be left to them, nor one that will be saved on the day of wrath of judgment. For destruction and rooting out and expulsion from the earth is the whole seed of the Philistines reserved. And there will no longer be left for these Caphtorim a name or a seed on the earth. For though he ascend unto heaven, thence will he be brought down. And though he make himself strong on earth, thence will he be dragged forth. And though he hide himself amongst the nations, even from thence will he be rooted out. And though he descend into Sheol, there also will his condemnation be great. And there also he will have no shalom. And if he go into captivity by the hands of those that seek his life, will they slay him on the way, and neither name nor seed will be left to him on all the earth. For into eternal malediction will he depart. And thus it is written and engraved concerning him on the heavenly tablets, to do unto him on the day of judgment, so that he may be rooted out of the earth. Yada Yahuwah. Chapter 25. Rebekah admonishes Jacob not to marry a Canaanitish woman. Rebekah's Barakah. Verse 1. And in the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son, and spake unto him, saying, My son, do not take thee a wife of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau thy brother, who took him 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds, for all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them. For their deeds are evil. And I, my son, love thee exceedingly, and my heart and my affection brook thee every hour of the day and watch of the night. And now, my son, hearken to my voice, and do the will of thy mother, and do not take thee a wife of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father, and of my father's kindred. Thou wilt take thee a wife of the house of my father, and of the Most High Yahuwah will Baruch thee, and thy children will be a righteous generation and a set apart seed. And then spake Jacob to Rebekah his mother, and said unto her, Behold, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old, and I neither know nor have I touched any woman, nor have I betrothed myself to any, nor even think of taking me a wife of the daughters of Canaan. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham our father. For he commanded me not to take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, but to take me a wife from the seed of my father's house, and from my kindred. I have heard before that daughters have been born to Laban, thy brother, and I have set my heart on them to take a wife from amongst them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my spirit against sinning or being corrupted in all my ways throughout all the days of my life. For with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham my father gave me many commands, and despite all that he hath commanded me these 22 years, my brother hath striven with me, and spoken frequently to me, and said, My brother, a sister of my 2 wives. But I refuse to do as he hath done. I swear before thee, mother, that all the days of my life I will not take me a wife from the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I will not act wickedly as my brother hath done. Fear not, mother, be assured that I shall do thy will and walk in uprightness and not corrupt my ways forever. And thereupon she lifted up her face to the Shemaim, and extended the fingers of her hands, and opened her mouth, and baruched the Most High Yahuwah, who had created the Shemaim and the earth. And she gave him and she said, Baruched be Yahuwah Eluah, And may his set apart name be Baruched forever and ever, who hath given me Jacob as a pure son and as a set apart seed. For he is thine, and thine shall his seed be continually and throughout all the generations forevermore. Baruch him, O Yahuwah, and place in my mouth the barakah of righteousness, that I may Baruch him. And at that hour, when the ruach of righteousness descended into her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Jacob and said, Baruched art thou, Yahuwah of righteousness, and Eluah of the ages, and may he Baruch thee beyond all the generations of men. May he give thee, my son, the path of righteousness, and reveal righteousness to thy seed. And may he make thy sons many during thy life, and may they arise according to the number of the months of the year, and may their sons become many and great beyond the stars of the Shemayim, and their numbers be more than the sand of the sea. And may he give them this goodly land, as he said he would give it to Abraham and to his seed after him always. And may they hold it as a possession forever. And may I see born unto thee, my son, children during my life, and a baruched and set apart seed all thy seed be. And as thou hast refreshed thy mother's spirit during my life, the womb of that bare thee, my affection and my breast baruch thee, and my mouth and my tongue praises thee greatly. Increase and spread over the earth, and may thy seed be perfect in the joy of the Shemayim and earth forever. And may thy seed rejoice, and on the great day of Shalom, may it have Shalom. And may thy name and thy seed endure to all the ages. And may the Most High Yahuwah be their Elohim, and may the Elohim of righteousness dwell with them, and by them may his sanctuary be built unto all the ages. Baruched be he that barucheth thee, and all flesh that curseth thee falsely, may it be cursed. And she kissed him and said to him, May Yahuwah of the world love thee as the heart of thy mother, and her affection rejoice in thee, Baruch thee. And she ceased from God. Yada Yahuwah. Chapter 26. Jacob obtains the blessing, the barakah of the firstborn. Yada Yahuwah. Verse 1. And in the 7th year of this week, Isaac called Esau, his elder son, and said unto him, I am old, my son, and behold, my eyes are dim and I know not the day of my death. And now take thy hunting weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and hunt and catch me venison, my son, and make me savory meat, such as my soul loveth, and bring it to me that I may eat, and that my soul may baruch thee before I die. But Rebekah heard Isaac speaking to Esau. And Esau went forth early to the field to hunt and catch and bring home to his father. And Rebekah called Jacob her son, and said unto him, Behold, I heard Isaac thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Hunt for me, and make me savory meat, and bring it to me, that I may eat and baruch thee before Yahuwah before I die. And now, my son, obey my voice in that which I command thee. Go to thy flock, and fetch me 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth, and thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat and baruch thee before Yahuwah before he die, and that thou mayest be baruched. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Mother, I shall not withhold anything which my father would eat, and which would please him. Only I fear, my mother, that he will recognize my voice, and wish to touch me. And thou knowest that I am smooth, and Esau my brother is hairy, and I shall appear before his eyes as an evildoer, and shall do a deed which he had not commanded me. And he will be wroth with me, and I shall bring upon myself a curse, and not a barakah. And Rebekah his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice. And Jacob obeyed the voice of Rebekah his mother, and went and fetched 2 good and fat kids of the goats, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made them savory meat, such as he loved. And Rebekah took the goodly raiment of Esau, and her elder son, which was with her in the house, and she clothed Jacob her younger son with them. And she put the skin of the kids upon his hands, and on the exposed parts of his neck. And she gave the meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And Jacob went in to his father and said, I am thy son. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise and sit and eat of that which I have caught, father, that thy soul may baruch me. And Isaac said to his son, How hast thou found so quickly, my son? And Jacob said, Because Yahuwah thy Elohim caused me to find. And Isaac said unto him, Come near, that I may feel thee, my son, if thou art my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because from the shame, to remove his power of perception. And Isaac discerned not, for his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's, so that he baruched him. And he said, Art thou my son Esau? And he said, I am thy son. And he said, Bring near to me that I may eat of that which thou hast caught, my son, that my soul may baruch thee. And he brought near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And Isaac his father said unto him, Come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment. He baruched him and said, Behold, the smell of my son is as the smell of a full field which Yahuwah hath baruched. And may Yahuwah give thee of the dew of the Shemayim, and of the dew of the earth, and plenty of corn and oil. And let the nations serve thee, and the people bow down to thee. Be master over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. And may all the barakahs wherewith Yahuwah hath baruched me and baruched Abraham my father be imparted to thee and to thy seed. Forever cursed be that curseth thee, and Baruch be that Baruch thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of his Berekah, his son Jacob, and Jacob had gone forth from Isaac his father, he hid himself, and Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also made a savory meat, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, Let my father arise and eat of my venison, that thy soul may baruch me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said unto him, I am thy firstborn, thy son Esau. I have done as thou hast commanded me. And Isaac was very greatly astonished. And he said, Who is he that hath hunted and caught and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest. And I have baruched him, and he shall be baruched and all his seed forever. And it came to pass, when Esau heard the words of his father Isaac, that he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said unto his father, Baruch me, even me also, father. And he said unto him, Thy brother came with guile, and hath taken away your blessing, your barakah. And he said, Now I know why his name is named Jacob. Behold, he hath supplanted me with 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now he hath taken away my barakah. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a barakah for me, father? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy master, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with plenty of corn and wine and oil have I strengthened him. And what now shall I do for thee, my son? And Esau said to Isaac his father, Hast thou but one barakah, O father? Baruch me even, me also, father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac answered and said unto him, Behold, far from the dew of the earth shall be thy dwelling, and far from the dew of the Shemayim from above wilt thou live, and thou wilt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou becomest great, and dost shake his yoke from off thy neck, thou wilt sin a complete sin unto death, and thy seed will be rooted out from under the Shemayim. And Esau kept threatening Jacob because of the barakah wherewith his father baruched him. And he said in his heart, may the days of mourning for my father now come, so that I may slay my brother Jacob. Yada Yahuwah. Chapter 27. Rebekah induces Isaac to send Jacob to Mesopotamia. Jacob's dream and view at Bethel. Verse 1. And the words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah in a dream. And Rebekah sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, Esau thy brother will take vengeance on thee, so as to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, and flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's anger turns away, and he remove his anger from thee, and forget all that thou hast done. Then I will send and fetch you from thence. And Jacob said, I am not afraid. If he wish to kill me, I will kill him. But she said unto him, Let me not be bereft of both my sons on one day. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, thou knowest that my father hath become old, and does not see, because his eyes are dull. And if I leave him, it will be evil in his eyes, because I leave him and go away from you, and my father will be angry and will curse me. I will not go. When he sendeth me, then only will I go. And Rebekah said to Jacob, I will go in and speak to him, and he will send thee away. And Rebekah went in and said to Isaac, I loathe my life because of the two daughters of Heth, whom Esau hath taken him as wives. And if Jacob take a wife from amongst these daughters of the land, such as these, for what purpose do I further live? For the daughters of Canaan are evil. And Isaac called Jacob and baruched him, and admonished him, and said unto him, Do not take thee a wife of any of these daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Mesopotamia, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And Yahuwah Almighty baruch thee, and increase and multiply thee, that thou may become a company of nations, and give the barakah of my father Abraham to thee and thy seed, that thou may inherit the land of thy sojournings, and all the land which Yahuwah gave to Abraham. Go, my son, in shalom. And Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Mesopotamia, to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's mother. And it came to pass after Jacob had arisen to go to Mesopotamia, that the Ruach, the spirit of Rebekah, was grieved after her son, and she wept. And Isaac said to Rebekah, My sister, weep not on account of Jacob, my son, for he goes in shalom, and in shalom will he return. The Most High Eluah will preserve him from all evil, and will be with him, for he will not forsake him all his days. For I know that his ways will be prospered in all things, wherever he goes, until he returns in shalom to us, and we see him in shalom. Fear not on his account, my sister, for he is on the upright path, and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful and will not perish. Weep not. And Isaac comforted Rebekah on account of her son Jacob, and baruched him. And Jacob went from the well of the oath to go to Haran. And on the first year of the second week, in the 44th Jubilee, he came to Luz on the mountains, that is, Bethel, on the new moon of the first month of this week. And he came to the place at even, and turned from the way to the west of the road that night. And he slept there, for the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place, and laid it at his head under the tree. And he was journeying alone, and he slept. And he dreamt that night, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to the Shemayim. And behold, the angels of Yahuwah ascended and descended on it. And behold, Yahuwah stood upon it. And he spoke to Jacob and said, I am Yahuwah Eluah of Abraham, thy father, and Eluah of Isaac. The land whereon thou art sleeping, to thee shall I give it, and to thy seed after thee. And thy seed will be as the dust of the earth, and thou wilt increase to the west and to the east, and to the north and the south. And in thee and in thy seed will all the families of the nations be baruched. And behold, I shall be with thee, and shall keep thee whithersoever thou goest. And I shall bring you again into this land in shalom, for I shall not leave thee until I do everything that I told thee of. And Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Truly, this place is the house of Yahuwah. Yahuwah. And after he was afraid and said, Dreadful is this place, which is none other than the house of Eluah, and this is the gate of the Shemayim. And Jacob arose early in the morning, and took the stone which he had put under his head, and set it up as a pillar for a sign. And he poured oil upon the top of it, and he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of the place was Luz at first. And Jacob vowed a vow unto Yahuwah, saying, If Yahuwah will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and give me bread to eat, and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in shalom, then shall Yahuwah be my Elohim, and this stone which I have set up as a pillar for a sign in this place shall be Yahuwah's house, and of all that thou givest me, I shall give the 10th to thee, my Elohim. Yada Yahuwah, Yada Yahuwah, Yada Yahuwah. All praise to Yahuwah. We have just finished chapter 27, and next week we're going to continue on chapter 28, which goes on to Jacob's marriage to Leah and Rachel and his children and his riches. And that's where we're going to continue next week. All praise to Yahuwah. I hope everyone has enjoyed the reading of the scripture of Yubalaym. And I pray that everyone is Baruch this day. May Yahuwah shine his face upon you and give you shalom in Yahushua HaMashiach's name. Yada Yahuwah. Yada Yahuwah, Yada Yahuwah. Shalom, shalom, brother Yanualua.
Shalom, shalom. Ah, wow. You know, I always read these scriptures myself, but I've not read it like this. Because first thing is that reading it myself take me a lot of stress sometimes. But listening to it is just like listening to the full story, to the life story.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about it, I really enjoy it. I'm telling you. Even now, if I want to talk about it, I don't even, because I understand a lot of things. A lot of things. And the work of Yahweh. Thank you, thank you. Really appreciate, really appreciate. We really appreciate your moment here on the Righteousness Radio. Really appreciate you. Our family, our sister Chris Yahoo is the one reading to us on the Righteousness Radio. Is the one reading to us. All praise to the Most High, all praise to Yahweh, Allah, our Father. Thank you. See you next time. See you next time. See you next week. Yeah, that's next week. See you next week. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Is done. We rest in you, the set apart one, a sacred time, a gift of love. We lift our hands to Shemayim above, sing hallelujah.
I'm using this moment to say shalom to everyone that can listen to us on the Righteousness Radio on your way, the Righteousness TV. I want you to go back to that scripture, go and read it again. Because in that scriptures, you are going to learn something. One thing you are going to learn is that even after everything, no matter what the world did for you, that doesn't stop you from moving forward. doesn't stop you for doing what is right. Because Yahweh is your father, it doesn't stop you for doing what you have to do. Yes, because after taking his glory for his brother, he's angry. Jacob is angry. He's angry. Jacob is seriously angry. But that doesn't stop him from becoming successful man. He went out after receiving his own blessing. Again, he said to his father, yes, you can still bless me again.
That my trials come to Lord.
No limit for what you can do. Even if your brother, your sister do it before you, you can still do it as well. Don't count yourself that you can do anything, no matter how difficult it is. You have no limit in Yahweh. With just few prayer that he received, he still becomes successful. He becomes successful because he believed that, okay, if my father still pray for me, the prayer is still going to work with me. The prayer will still work for me. If it's another person, if it's another child, he's going to tell his father and his mother that, why do you do this, mother, and start fighting everybody? But he asked his father that, pray for me again. You can still pray for me. And he believes that even praying for him can still work. That is what you have to know, that it's not everything that you fight or you start. No. Because little, Yahweh can bless you with it. I'm using this to share shalom to everybody that can listen to me on the Righteousness Radio. That can listen to me on Yahweh is the Righteousness TV. See you next time. See you tomorrow on the Righteousness Radio again with the same. Thank you for listening. Shalom, shalom.
Children are crying, death and destruction are unrelenting, but still, no one is repenting. Wake up, these are signs of the end time tribulation. We are living in the final generation. We are the remnants of Revelation. Watchmen on the wall, standing strong and tall against the abomination of desolation. We are the final generation, a light to the nations, born for such a time for our light to shine. We are the final generation. The seas are churning, cities are burning, dark skies are hailing, men's hearts are failing, black smoke is thickening, the stench is sickening, armies are assembling, politicians are trembling, the horsemen are